On a night loaded with 8 fierce NHL matchups, the margins are razor thin, the value is hidden, and the edges belong only to those who know where to look. Today, we break down every angle so you're never skating blind. Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, where we break down these games with clarity, confidence, and the type of insight that helps you understand not just who wins, but why each matchup sets up the way it does. We start with Colorado versus Philadelphia, a game that immediately jumps out because of the pricing. Colorado enters this matchup favored at -150, and under normal circumstances that number makes sense. They're typically the more explosive roster, and they have the talent edge. But scheduling matters in the NHL, and Colorado just played New York yesterday, which is never an easy back-to-back situation, especially when travel and short rest are involved. That's exactly where the value shifts toward Philadelphia, who not only come in fresher but also benefit from catching Colorado at a tough time physically. When you're looking at a moneyline like +130 in a situation where the underdog is in the better rest spot and the favorite is coming off a taxing performance, it becomes hard to ignore. Philadelphia holds the value side, and the play here is the Flyers on the moneyline at +130 over the Colorado Avalanche. Next up is San Jose taking on Carolina, and this matchup tells a completely different story. Carolina is sitting as a massive favorite at -300, and that number reflects the reality that they are the clearly superior team in this meeting. The problem is simple. With a moneyline priced like that, there's no useful return, no real betting edge, and no justification to play it straight. The superior side is obvious, but the value isn't. Instead, the sharper angle lands on the puck line, where Carolina is available around -112 to -115. For a team with far more depth, far more scoring capability, and far more structure than San Jose, the puck line becomes the only playable option. Carolina should control the tempo, possession, and scoring opportunities here, and with San Jose's defensive issues, the Hurricanes on the puck line is the logical direction. Florida versus the Islanders brings another interesting dynamic. Florida is favored in the -160 to -170 range, and even though that number is a bit heavy, it's grounded in reality. They are the stronger overall team by a clear margin. What makes this matchup even more compelling is the emotional aspect. Florida comes into this game on a 4-game losing streak, and teams with their level of expectation rarely stay down for long. That kind of losing skid can spark urgency, accountability, and sharper execution, especially when returning home against a beatable opponent. With all those elements lining up, superior roster, home ice advantage, and a hunger to bounce back, the play remains straightforward. Florida on the moneyline at -160 is the call over the New York Islanders, who simply don't match Florida's ceiling in this spot. The Penguins and Stars meet next, and this is one of the most intriguing value plays on the entire slate. Dallas comes in as a sizable favorite at -225, and while they are the better overall team on paper, value doesn't come from picking the better roster, it comes from identifying where the market gives you an edge. That edge today leans toward Pittsburgh. Their record of 147-5 on the season and 83-3 away from home provides an angle that suggests they're capable of competing in difficult environments. Pittsburgh has shown resilience, competitive structure, and an ability to execute under pressure. In hockey, the better team doesn't always win, and this matchup carries that exact feel. With a moneyline of +190, this becomes a classic high-value underdog situation worth taking a swing on. The play is Pittsburgh on the moneyline at +190 over the Dallas Stars. St. Louis heads into Montreal next, and this matchup leans heavily on situational factors. Montreal played in Toronto on Saturday, and that quick turnaround puts them in a challenging position. When teams are on the second night of a back-to-back, especially after a game as competitive and physically demanding as facing Toronto. The legs simply aren't the same. St. Louis, meanwhile, comes into this spot with the advantage of rest and preparation. That alone creates a significant edge, but their overall style of play also matches up well here, giving them even more support as an underdog. A price of plus 125 becomes too strong to ignore, especially when Montreal is at a scheduling disadvantage. That makes St. Louis the play on the money line at plus 125 over the Canadiens. Columbus takes on Washington next, and while the Blue Jackets continue to search for identity and consistency, Washington is favored at minus 200 because they're the superior team on both ends of the ice. Washington should control this matchup at home, but again, the moneyline offers no value whatsoever at that price. The better bet is to shift over to the puck line, where Washington is available at minus 1.5 with a return of plus 120. This gives a reasonable path to value while keeping your bet aligned with the superior team. With Columbus struggling to keep up offensively and failing to generate reliable pressure, Washington's puck line becomes the most sensible angle, offering both value and matchup support. Vegas versus the Rangers gives us another situational edge that can't be overlooked. The Rangers come into this one after facing Colorado yesterday in an afternoon game, and for any NHL team, that quick of a turnaround is a real challenge. Fatigue isn't just physical, it's mental, especially after facing a high-caliber opponent like Colorado. Vegas enters this matchup with fresher legs and a higher ceiling. This is a team capable of making a deep push toward the Stanley Cup, and they carry the type of consistency you want when evaluating a road favorite. The Rangers have struggled to find the back of the net, particularly at home, and that combination, their scoring issues and the tough back-to-back spot, creates a strong opportunity for Vegas. The Golden Knights on the money line at minus 155 is the clear play. And the final matchup brings us Chicago versus Anaheim, and here's where pricing tells a misleading story. Anaheim is favored at minus 200, and while they've played well at home overall this season, the number still feels inflated given the matchup and recent trends. Chicago's roster makeup has shown real improvement, and they've been competitive in these types of spots. Even more important, Chicago has won 4 of their last 5 against Anaheim, which provides strong historical support for the value side. When you combine matchup history with an underdog price of plus 175, it becomes clear that Chicago holds the better side of the equation. The play here is the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line at plus 175 over the Anaheim Ducks. As always, every matchup carries its own rhythm, angles, and hidden edges, and breaking them down game by game gives a clearer picture of where the value truly sits. These predictions are shaped by rest patterns, matchups, recent performance, and what the numbers imply, not chasing favorites, but chasing the strongest spots on the board. Let me know your thoughts, your leans, or which game you're most interested in watching today. Thanks for tuning into Beyond the Box Score. If you're new here, make sure you stick around. We break down matchups every day with the same detail and insight you just heard. Your support keeps this channel growing, and we'll be right back tomorrow with more predictions, more breakdowns, and more ways to stay ahead of the lines. Until next time, stay sharp, stay disciplined, and keep riding with Beyond the Box Score.